Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade flour tortillas and buñuelos. So stick around and let's get cooking. We're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of fresh lard, 1 teaspoon salt, half a teaspoon baking powder, and what's not shown here, 3/4 cups water. And for the buñuelos, vegetable oil, some sugar, and some cinnamon. First, we're going to start off with our flour. You're going to want 2 cups of flour, and what I like to do is fluff up the flour in the bag. Kind of shake it so it's even, something like that. Going to do 2 cups. Okay. A teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon baking powder. Take your whisk and let's mix that up. We're going to add our lard. We're going to scoop it into the 1/4 cup. Got our dry ingredients in our lard, and we're going to take the pastry blender. We're going to combine all the ingredients. Kind of looks like pebbles. If it looks like wet sand, you went too far. You want to give the water something to cling on to. You could use your hand. I like to use my little hands-free spatula. It also kind of makes me giggle when I use this, but it actually, you'll see, it actually is nice to use. So pour it all in. I don't worry about adding a little and then mixing it and adding more in. With this spatula, it's so easy. I got this spatula as a gift many years ago from, I think, my Aunt Candy. I had to ask my wife who gave me this, and I was always thinking, like, how am I going to use this? And I finally figured out there's 2 things I can use it for. 1, getting everything out of a tomato paste can. This is amazing for that. And 2, mixing up my flour tortilla dough. See? Now we've combined it, this little guy. Now it's time to do some kneading. So we just want to incorporate all of the ingredients well, build a little bit of gluten up. So let's say about 5 minutes. And I like to do it in the bowl, it saves on cleanup. You could take it out, you could do it on the counter with some flour. I do that sometimes. When I do a bigger batch, I might do that. Alright, so I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. Alright, so got that nicely incorporated. So what I do is I mean, if you want to put oil on this, if you want to rub your hands in lard, I've seen that on some channels. But for me, it doesn't dry out. There's a lot of fat in here already. So what I do is I get it incorporated, and then I get my clean dish towel, lay it over top. We're going to let this just rest for 15 minutes. Okay, so we let it rest 15 minutes, and now let's take a look. Yeah, that looks about right. Now let's start dividing the dough. We're going to do about 1.9 ounces portions. That should give us about 10 tortillas. Let's roll it up into a ball, pinch the end, and then roll the pinch side in your hand to make a nice round ball. And we're going to portion out the rest of the dough. All right, so now we're going to cover them and let them rest for 5 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to start with some flour. So you're going to want to pat down the dough. It makes a nice little disc to start. Okay? And you're going to start in the middle. You're just going to go mostly to the edge, not all the way. Middle, edge, hit middle, flip it. And just repeat that. Now, it's sticking like that. Put a little flour on there. You don't have to do it all in one roll out. You want them as thin as you can make them. Now I can start seeing the wood through there. That guy's ready to go. Okay, now let's cook this up. Got my pomal / griddle ready to go. It's on medium-low. Your temperature may vary. I'm just going to set it on there. What we're looking for is for it to start bubbling up. You can see it here. Well, while we're waiting for that to bubble up, get our tortilla warmer ready with our towel. Okay, and you can see the bubbles. Get some nice bubbles now. Right, now you can use a spatula or a tongs, but my Nana always used her hands, and that's what I'm going to use now. Almost ready, okay? Let's take a look. Almost there. See those little bubbles? We want those to be a little browner. I'm going to turn up the heat just a hair. Flip it. You don't have to use a cast iron skillet, but or cast iron pomal or griddle, you could use a cast iron skillet. You could use a non-stick pan, although you can't get the temperature up as high probably. Okay, you can see it's starting to bubble on the second side. You don't want to cook this too long, because then it won't be tender anymore. So we just want it to be cooked enough with these little bubbles. All right, that's ready to go in here. Take it, put it in our tortilla warmer. We're going to just fold it in. We want it to basically steam on itself. All right, so I could go and I could make the rest of these. But what I like to do at our house, I like to make up a big batch of tortilla dough and put it in the fridge, cover it up, and then myself or my kids could come, or my wife, and they could make tortillas whenever they want. Like my kids come home from school and they want a snack, they can make a tortilla, roll it out, heat up the griddle. What you do is just, when you stick it in the fridge, you just cover it up with some cling wrap. And this doesn't last more than a day in my house, but it could last up to a week in the fridge if it's airtight. And then in your fridge, and you're all set. All right, let's taste this. Take the warm tortilla out. This is how I like to eat the tortillas, freshly off of the comal. Put a little bit of butter. And you roll it up. All right, let's taste this. It's soft, toasty, it's chewy, buttery, and you get that right balance with salt and the flavor from the lard. It's perfect. Try it out. Right, so first we're going to set our burner to medium high. Use a medium, this is a 10-inch skillet. I'm going to pour, I don't know, maybe a half inch of oil in there. Vegetable oil. And then we're going to bring that up to temperature for frying. While that's heating, let's go back and we're going to roll out the dough. Okay, now buñuelos time. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll out our dough. So we're going to pat it. But this time, we're going to roll it out a little bit thicker. Sometimes it gets stuck. It's okay. Okay, so this is, I wouldn't roll it any thicker than that. Okay, got our dough here. Now we're going to cut it into triangles. So now for buñuelos, traditional dough is oftentimes a sweet dough, and it also has yeast in it. But for the buñuelos I grew up eating from my Nana, she would just take the same tortilla dough and she would fry it for us. We'd eat this with our beans, so you just fry it up just like this, and maybe toss in a little bit of salt. But for dessert buñuelos, we would take the same tortilla dough, cut it into triangles or squares, and then we would fry that. I'm going to use my instant read thermometer since my candy thermometer is not fit. About 300 degrees. Let's try that out. Here we go. Okay, I'm not going to use my hands for this one. To grab it, I mean. Okay, in the meanwhile, I'm going to grab a plate, paper towels for draining. There it is. Now I'm starting to get some browning. Crush that one a little bit. Okay. Now while that's still frying, the second batch, and we're going to put 1/3 cup sugar and about a tablespoon or so of cinnamon. Whisk that up. You take all these and just toss them in there. Buñuelos. All right. Here's the finished buñuelos. Let's give it a taste. First, let's look at it. Doesn't that look delicious? Sweet, it's cinnamony, it's salty. It's got some crunch and some chew. Thanks, Nana. This is delicious. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and enjoyed watching this video. Please let me know in the comments.